Mr. Basil, open a channel to the crew.
Ready, sir.
This is the captain speaking. At this moment, the fate of relations between the planet called Seleuci and our Federation remains in question. We lost 5 members of our crew in the explosion. Men you called shipmates, men many of you called your friends. In the coming hours, we'll be writing history. We'll either find a road to peace, or we'll once again face the prospect of conflict. Whichever outcome history records, I expect you all to do your duties. For yourselves, and for the Federation, and for the friends we've lost. Captain Privette out.
Report on the explosives, Captain.
In brief, Lieutenant.
Tripolymer aconite compound. The pilot had fewer than 10 grams of it stored inside his clothing.
Is that why our scans didn't detect any weapons or dangerous devices?
Well, tripolymer aconite wouldn't trip our sensors as a weapon. It's used in Federation mining colonies in lieu of phasers or more powerful chemical explosives.
Unless the transporter operator had been alerted ahead of time to scan in particular for that compound, it never would have been noticed.
Is that why 10 grams took in a transporter room part of a deck?
That's why it's used in mining colonies. Gets the job done.
Anything else?
Microanalysis of the residue shows the compound did originate in the Seleuci sector.
It's a match to samples obtained by the Excelsior Astrogeology Department.
Their asteroid belt contains large amounts of naturally occurring aconite compound.
Well, if we do go to war, at least we know what part of their system to target first.
We're not at war yet, Mr. Valin.
I contacted Paul Fleming about his son. I could hear his wife crying in the background when he told her.
Sickbay on the line for you, Captain.
Sickbay here. Minister Tolias has just regained consciousness. To say she can talk would be an understatement.
Can she talk as well as walk?
Absolutely. Neither wounds nor treatment impeded mobility.
Get her cleaned up. When she's ready, I want security to escort her to the briefing room. This time we have the talk she wanted when she came aboard.
Aye, sir.
May I be of assistance, Captain?
Negative, Commander. Please continue sensor sweeps in this sector, just in case someone else wants to destroy my ship.
I've got a bottle of late 20th century scotch in my quarters if you want something to take the edge off.
You'll have to find someone else to share that with you.
Thank you for saving my life.
Just doing our jobs.
I'm truly sorry for what happened.
Captain, my pilot.
Tried to murder my crew.
You must believe me when I tell you, I did not know he would do what he did. I am truly sorry for the deaths he's caused.
If you're sorry, tell me what happened and why before our governments go to war.
His name was Pel Nurin. He was a pilot in our asteroid mining service. When we detected your vessel nearing our sector and the Parature Assembly authorized me to travel here and to make contact, he volunteered to be my pilot.
Why did he set up a bomb? What did we do to deserve this?
It's not what you've done, Captain, or your crew, but what your Federation might do.
What does that even mean?
I was sent to warn you just of this sort of thing. Most of my people don't want you on our planet.
Why?
You're aliens, outsiders from another part of the galaxy. Fear runs strong in my people. Fear of what you may represent.
The United Federation of Planets is not a warlike society. We don't invade or conquer other worlds. We're no threat to you.
Mr. Nurin had sympathies with a group that doesn't believe a word of what you just said, Captain. Since your vessel first entered our orbit over Seleuci, my people have been in a state of frightened confusion, even panic.
You knew he was a potentially dangerous man, but you still let him aboard my ship? I say your security needs some work.
Captain, you saved my life, and for that act, I will forever be in your debt. Your kind attention to my safety and recovery demonstrates your crew does not harbor any ill will.
Then why are we not welcome?
Because we're a scared and distrustful world and we're not ready for what's out there.
Captain Zulu's log mentions your war.
The great cataclysm. Billions died. Billions. Our world was contaminated and shattered. It left profound damage beyond dead cities, polluted rivers, and unburied corpses. It destroyed what little trust we had in outsiders, of those who claimed to come in peace.
Earth fought multiple world wars and lost hundreds of millions in the span of just a little more than a century. But our first contact with alien life changed us for the better. We didn't run in fear of the unknown. My starship and those like her exist because we listened. We kept our minds open.
In that case, I envy the people of Earth. We are different people with different histories, and nothing will ever change that.
Earth's no longer the planet it once was. Its people built faster ships and reached deeper into the galaxy. They met other species who became their partners and even close friends. My world was one such planet. We were what the Terrans of Earth would classify as aliens. But we, along with dozens of other worlds, eventually united in common purpose to create the Federation. We learned that most of the differences in our cultures could be overcome with common goals: cooperation, trust.
Until my people broke the warp barrier, we'd never even left the confines of our star system. We detected evidence of intelligent life beyond it, but the politicians balked and decided to listen to demagogues rather than dreamers.
Politicians tend to be the same on any world. Whether you believe it or not, we come in peace. We only want to learn about you and expand our knowledge of the universe and share that knowledge.
Conquerors sometimes speak the same words.
It's not our responsibility to heal your world. We can't eradicate your prejudice or your ignorance.
You're right. There are demons, and we have to exorcise them ourselves. But they've resulted in a very frightened and uneasy society. And men like Nurin are willing to commit murder to make themselves heard.
We can change that right here, right now.
But we're not ready for you. And it may not ever happen in the lifetime of anyone on this ship.
Whatever your government wishes, whatever its instructions, we will honor them. I plead with you, though. Consider the alternative of the vast potential of continued contact between our worlds. We could learn much from one another.
I appreciate that. For what it's worth, I don't see you as a danger to my people. Seeing this vessel and its incredible technology, the diversity of its crew, and your welcoming attitude and gestures, I cannot in good faith return to my capital and call you our enemy.
Thank you.
Sadly, I'm not the only person in my world. It's going to take years for the fear to subside, the hatred to be replaced by more constructive emotions. But someday.
I hope so. On Earth, we have an ancient custom we call breaking bread. It's a gesture of fellowship with somebody we want to embrace in friendship. I have no bread, but if you like to sample some Terran food, my security chief makes a fine plate of rotini.
And that's the conclusion of my report, Captain.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
A little bird told me that the postal diplomacy worked. Permission to take partial credit.
This little bird Does he like scotch?
That's classified.
Yes, it worked. Things went amicably. We still have a stopover at Starbase 211 to finish repairs on the transporter room, but all things considered, this went as well as could be expected.
That makes 2 votes of confidence in my culinary skills. To know she liked my routine, I might have to write a book of recipes.
Put me down for a copy.
What are you looking at, sir?
Our own sordid past. Talking to Minister Tolias made me think about Earth's history, how we handled meeting alien life.
The post-atomic horror and Zephyr and Cochrane.
You grow up thinking you're part of an enlightened civilization. There are no more wars on Earth. Poverty is gone. Worlds such as my own have been explored and colonized. Nobody dies of hunger anymore. Most diseases are treatable and even curable. We can transport from one place to another in the blink of an eye. But we come from someplace else. And it wasn't pretty.
Humanity evolves. Even we, Orions, are capable of learning from our mistakes.
Are we really all that different from the Seleuci? 3 centuries ago, we were killing each other over natural resources and which deity we worshipped. But even more recently than that, we were turning on each other in fear and ignorance because we didn't trust Vulcans, or we were scared of Romulans, Klingons, Kzinti, or even Orions.
I guess your people and mine grew up.
But we're still not that far from the mouth of the cave. One disaster, one war, one existential threat to our way of life, and we could revert back to that behavior. All that progress, lost.
That's why we wear these uniforms, so hopefully we never have to find out.
Are you thirsty?
Sir?
It's something I wanted to share with you the other day during our meal, but circumstances intervened. A bottle of Saurian brandy that I've had since I took command of this ship. It was a present from Commodore Alwine. Never opened. I don't drink. But I wanted to wait for the right day to share it with someone.
Brandy, sir? On duty? That breaks about a dozen regulations.
I won't tell Starfleet if you don't. Besides, it's not every day that this crew gets to lay down a cornerstone for peace. And we have 5 friends to toast. 5 lives.
Aye, sir.
To Wentworth, Paulson, Rodriguez, Nema, Fleming.